Tonight I'm going to mock this guy up. Came out of the Hellcat that the motor came out of. I'm going to just mount this whole deal in here. So, gotta let this car down on the motor, bolt it up, and set this thing in there and see if we got room. Got my radiator mounted. AC condenser, cooler, tranny cooler. Not much room between there. Fits in there quite nicely though. So we got that mounted. I'm gonna roll the motor under there and figure out where in the world I'm gonna mount all this. Got my oil cooler. Those lines hook into there. So I don't know, mount it somewhere in here. I might have to bring a fender in and mock it up and see if I have room. I saw one guy mount it here, but man, that's gonna be close to the wheel. I don't know. I got my light brackets that come here. I don't know if I can mount it in front of that. I don't know. I have to figure it out. I was all proud of myself for mounting these things. I got the motor in where it's supposed to go, and the fan hits. So, after doing some researching, I can get a fan for a 2020 Charger, and it's a dual fan. So it'll be one over here and one down there, and it'll miss this guy. And I can keep this where I've got it mounted. So, I'll try that and see if that works. So here I am cutting the firewall to try and make this Hellcat pedal system work. And I got it in there and realized it's not going to work after cutting this, because the way the firewall is, it doesn't allow the clutch to go all the way down. It hits the floor. This hits that, and the way it sits in there to miss the steering rod, it's so far over here that the booster wouldn't fit. And these cars are manual clutches from the factory. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this spring off, somehow mount it in here so that it'll spring this old clutch pedal back up, because before it had a giant spring pulling it down. Then I'm going to mount this guy somewhere on here and make a 69 Charger manual clutch into a hydraulic clutch. We'll see if it'll work. It's just a bummer that I started cutting before I started thinking. Alright, took this Hellcat clutch pedal apart, took this one apart, stole the spring off of here, welded this on, heated this spring up, turned it so it would hook, hooked it on there, and now it springs back. That's all I need. Now we got to figure out where this is going to mount, where it'll work. Inside there, kind of thinking it's going to be mounted up here somewhere. We'll have to make an arm coming off here. But that'll fit in quite well. Instead of trying to retro this thing was just too huge. It didn't fit. I'll have to weld up my firewall again from cutting it. Get that all welded up, fix this hole. We should be golden. I think I'll use the hole for the bar that came out for the Z bar that did the clutch before. I'll use this hole with my little rubber grommet for the hydraulic line coming up from the clutch. Hook right in there. That'll be slick.